Guess what, guys? I dated a Jonah Hill.
Nuh-uh.
I did. I know. And guys, before I get into the tea, okay, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. All right. And guys, welcome back to the Deb and Nina V Show.
My name is Deb, guys.
And my name is Nina. So yes, you're right. I did date a Jonah Hill, okay? But before we even dive into that though, I do want to highlight what boundary is, right? Because it kind of blew up and with the situation with Jonah Hill and his ex-girlfriend now, right? And at first when I was reading his list of boundaries, I thought they were acceptable.
It sounded legit.
Okay, he got me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I fell for it. Okay, so now, well, what is the purpose of boundaries? What's boundaries? So
yes.
Boundaries are basically guidelines, right? Regulations that you give to yourself and to protect your personal space, your well-being, your emotional being. I mean, boundaries can be physical, it could be emotional, relational. So now, besides creating that safe space that boundaries do, what you can't do within a boundary is you can't say what a person can or can't do. That's basically the only part of how to do a boundary correctly. I mean, come on now. It's all about I. Once you start getting in there, you're misusing boundaries. And that's the T.
Yeah. So, because let's be honest, it is important to be knowledgeable about things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to psychology and understanding the brain and behaviors. It's key to interacting with each other, understanding each other, and everything in between. But what we forget is what comes with knowledge is the responsibility. You know what I'm saying? To be like accountable for how you use that information. Because any information is a weapon. It can be used for good or bad. And so it's good, to be knowledgeable about therapy and everything that it does for you.
Yeah.
But those very people with knowledge sometimes, especially narcissists, can use that information to control others.
Okay, and that's like the common term now that's being coined in the world as speak therapy.
Right. Ooh, right.
Okay.
Right. Therapy speak.
Okay.
And those are situations where, a person is very knowledgeable about how a therapy session would go, for example. A therapist is going to make sure that they use safe language. You know what I'm saying? They use non-judgmental language.
Yeah.
Even their body language is going to be a certain way to make you feel comfortable, to help you open up and feel safe. They're going to use certain terminology. You know what I'm saying? That just indicates, all right, they know what they're talking about.
Right.
They may even tell you what's wrong with you.
Listen.
Using psychology words like, oh, you have, such and such syndrome or whatever.
You're not a therapist. You're not a therapist. You're not licensed to be a therapist. And so therefore, refrain from using therapy speak to your significant other. Because it does come off as that manipulation.
Especially to your significant other. Because that person is not your subject. He is not your patient.
No.
I would think if I was a therapist, immediately I'm looking at this case scenario.
Right.
That's how they call them when you study them in psychology.
Yeah.
Look at this case scenario, and that already, I don't know what word I just used, but that already removes a lot of the emotionality, the compassion that comes with being in a relationship that is removed from a therapeutic session, if that makes sense.
Okay, and even to top off that even goes into boundaries because, listen, that's emotional boundaries. If I go, my significant other cannot be my therapist because I need a safe space to talk about my emotional needs.
Exactly.
And it can't be to that same person that you're having those emotional problems with. So let's get that right off the bat right there, right? So, now,
but you said you dated a Jonah Hill.
I did.
Talk to me about that situation.
Oh boy, here we go, right? Okay, so now before we dive into my story time, I want to go a little bit more about the Jonah Hill
situation.
Yes, because our stories are very similar. Because let me tell you why. So Jonah Hill slid into this girl's DM, right? This woman's DM. knowing she was a professional surfer.
Yep.
Okay, she was already posting bikini pics. She was already doing all that.
She's Hot Topic.
Okay, so you slid into her DM that way, and then later on, when she formed that emotional bond with you and seeing that potential future, then he want to pull out the you
list.
can't. And that was a hefty list. Y'all saw that list? Okay, so that list now was like a bunch of things. Like, you can't post pictures. You can't post bikini pics. You can't take pictures with men. You can't do this and that. And that is very much that inappropriate misuse of boundaries that I was talking about. Because he started doing that it's inappropriate. Actually, the moment you start telling someone what you can and can't do. Now, that was her career, okay? She gets brands, she gets sponsorships through her surfing, whatever, her lifestyle. And you knew that because you slid in her DM.
Shit, it pulled you.
Okay, so now why is she trying to rebrand her image or change things around to
appease you,
for your insecurities. Exactly, in your comfort. So the appropriate way would have been like, hey, it should have started with I first, okay? Like, I maybe am insecure about my body or something, right? Because if you're talking to her body, maybe I'm insecure about my body, blah, blah, blah. And I feel when you do this and that, X, Y, and Z, this and that, like, I feel bad or I feel this and that. That's inappropriate use of boundaries. Notice how it's only reflecting to I. I didn't say, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. That's not right. So back to the tea with my story time. Okay, so way back in the day, right? Once upon a time. So I used to work in a casino. Okay, I used to be a waitress. Yeah, fun days, okay? So I used to work in a casino, and one of the customers was at the bar, okay? He was a good-looking young man, whatnot. He came by and complimented on me, okay? He gave me his number, and listen, this is tea because I wasn't supposed to be fraternizing at work, but I did. So we got to talking and whatnot, and he was telling me, oh, I love your energy, you're so good at this job because of how I can, interact with the customers, conversational wise, fun, whatever. So months later, right, tell me how that same thing that he was complimenting me on became an issue. I couldn't go, because I work at a casino, right? So obviously it would be long hours, okay? Now it was always like, oh, well, what are you doing? Oh, this and that. Oh, I don't want you to be working there anymore. The guys over there are too flirtatious. They're too, kind of like how you were, though, right? They're too this, they're too that. And then, like I said, I fell for it. This was years ago. So it had me really rethinking, wow, let me take a look at this. Is this how, am I acting inappropriately?
Right, and and what brings the manipulation into it is they start talking about their feelings, in a way that make it seem like you don't care about their feelings, and that's why you're doing the things you're doing when they met you like that.
Right, exactly. I didn't start dating you and then got a job as one of the world's whatever, and everyone was like now flirting with me, trying to get my attention. No, you met me there along with a lot of those other men. You probably saw me rejecting those other men, okay? So it's kind of like, listen, so we ended up dating for a few months, okay? Like I said, it didn't last long because afterwards, he started using that use of boundary again. At points where he would be like, okay, don't go to work or find a new job and this and that. And at the end of the day, I'm like, wait a minute. Now you're affecting my career, right? My job, my
your
income.
Entire lifestyle.
And that is wrong. That is manipulation. And, had I known this back in the day, I wouldn't have even put up with it for so long. But it just brings to the attention that a lot of girls actually go through this, especially in the food service industry. Yeah. And now I'm just like, wait a minute. How many of us out there dated Jonah Hill? That's really the tea.
That's the real question. I think a lot of us are in current Jonah Hill situations.
Okay.
And you feel like by abiding to these rules and regulations that they set for you, you're showing your love for them. You're showing how you respect them. You're showing, how they're chosen, versus the other guys. But it's like really trying to control the person. Now, I do believe in this saying, right?
Yeah.
That, on earth, and we all have our own beliefs, whatever, you don't have to believe this.
Right.
That we're here on earth to experience each other.
Okay, yes.
When you experience something, do you tamper with it? No. It is in its natural habitat.
Okay.
You are experiencing it. And if it vibes with who you are and you see a future with that, go for it. If it doesn't and you knew you was gonna have a problem with it from the start, that's when you should make some, important decisions.
Yes, honestly.
And that's the issue. A lot of you men are too visual. Like, yes, you guys are visual creatures and that's what pulls you in. But you have to understand that if you're looking for the future, if you have a specific criteria of the woman you want, then you can't fully rely on your visuals, honey. Okay, that's on you.
Right, and there's a lot of that's been really blowing up lately in terms of like on the media. It's like these men who are basically attracted to these non-traditional women, right? Whatever type of women that they're like, wow, IG models, Instagram, this and that, like those are baddies, right? You're attracted to them in their non-traditional ways. You fall in love with them, whatever, and then midway through, years later
try to make them traditional and start switching up on them, like making them act in different ways. Like, that's not her natural habitat. She's not used to acting like this.
Yeah, and I know that's a you problem, that's a men problem. You know why? Because the saying of turning a hoe into a housewife, that itself is a problematic saying, okay? And now, I don't want to dive into any of that, but that mindset thinking is very equivalent to dating and finding a non-traditional woman and then trying to switch her around.
Yeah, like it just doesn't make any sense. Go for what you want, guys. It's simple. Like, the exact woman you want exists.
Okay.
Like, she'll think exactly how you think. She will believe the exact same rules that you think. Like, and the rules and regulations you set on her, she'll probably set those same rules on you.
Okay.
Go for it. But what we don't condone is you going for the opposite of what you actually want and then try to change her in the middle of that stuff. When you guys, you always say that when it's like, that's the biggest thing, guys. Like, they love to talk about how, women,
let's talk about it now.
Change them. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman can't change you and you're gonna be the way you are, how they
Facts.
hold those
They're
same
very prideful in that.
for the woman.
Okay.
That's it. Just hold those same standards because it doesn't make any sense for you to switch it up in the middle of stuff. And, and really, ladies and men, educate yourselves. All of you educate yourselves. Because if you don't, then the person that does educate themselves could potentially use you.
Always gonna have a hand up on you. Yeah. And listen, men, we love the movement of going to therapy. That is huge and props to you, okay? But when you start learning these things about therapy, you do not go ahead and take that and then misuse it on subject B. That is not cool. Therapy is self-work. It starts with self, I. So before you start changing everything else around you, look in the mirror, boo. Look in the mirror and start changing yourself because that's really the tea.
Yeah.
No, seriously. So, because you see a lot of men here, right, on these IG models pages, be like, oh, there's no godly woman out there in the world anymore.
Oh, they're all hoes.
Why are you under the hoes page?
That's all that's in your feed. Go to church if you want that type of girl.
Exactly.
Like, dang, like go to the nun place. Like, I'm serious though. Like, stop it. And you know what? That reminds me of the time when I was a bottle girl for a second.
Ooh, story time.
Yes. So, and I was working, I'm bringing the bottles to the tables. I'm very friendly. I'm doing the job.
Okay.
And this guy, he keeps like harassing me and he comes up to me and he says, oh my gosh, like, all right, first of all, already seeing me in my environment, I don't look like I need help, mind you. Everybody's throwing money at me. Do I look like I need your help? No,
working.
I'm good. Like, and it's an appropriate environment and all we gotta do is be friendly and ask for your name, talk to you for a little bit and serve you bottles. You know what I'm saying?
Simple.
The scope of the job, there's nothing inappropriate about it. Like, we're just having a good time while serving you drinks. Already he's coming up to me trying to predict a future that's not what he sees right now.
No.
Oh, you don't have to do this. Mind you, drunk as hell. You don't have to do this. Why are you doing this?
No.
Well, how much they pay you here? How much they pay you here?
Like you could afford me.
Mind you, I didn't get one tip from you tonight. And I don't remember going to your table. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you're hopping tables, drinking on people's drinks, but I don't remember you ordering a bottle for yourself. And you already talking about, what you can do for me.
Oh no, not even in VIP. Not even don't have no table. Talk about regular. You don't have to do this.
I didn't see who he came with. Nobody was checking for him.
Dusty.
If anything, you could have been homeless. You know what I'm saying?
Dusty.
And you like snuck your way into the club. I don't know. But that right there is prime example.
It is.
They'll see you in your environment. You look beautiful. You look great. You look happy.
Mm-hmm.
And they just want to come in there. Something about men wanting to destroy flowers. I don't know, man.
Oh, that's the real tea about it. Listen, so if you went out there and you found her, that woman in all her glory, all her majesty, shining, okay, personality-wise, whatever.
Leave her where she's at.
Okay.
You know, if you can't make it better, leave her where she's at.
Right.
Because if you only aim to make it worse, then what was the point? Like, you're painting this picture of this person you are that you're really not.
Yeah, and then you can't try to shame her if she does not quit her job, or shame her if she continues to post bikini pics, because you knew the reality of it.
Absolutely.
You're the one being unrealistic.
Well, you're desperate to be a hero? Save yourself, goddammit.
I know.
If she don't need your help, save yourself.
Let's talk about that. So y'all, I know we've all dated Jonah Hill, honestly, here and there, and it's an unfortunate situation because, like I said, I do love the fact that he is promoting therapy, and men do.
And that was the other thing too.
Yeah,
did he become best friends with the therapist?
He did, like somewhat.
Which is inappropriate.
Yeah, like come on now, boundaries now. Like let's keep it professional. Like so, there were some red flags in that documentary that he made about his relationship with that therapist, and let's really be honest. Let's keep professional boundaries where they're at, because it looks like he may need to go to another therapist or maybe find out what boundary actually even mean, because
his therapist might be a little, you know what I'm saying?
Because it's just you're
unqualified for the job.
Yeah, it's giving that, because how did this situation arise from all of that? Y'all, so I mean, luckily she did get out of that emotional abuse. They are ex, they're not together anymore, and I'm happy I got myself out, right? Let's get ourselves out of these Jonah Hill situations, because that is just not it, you know?
And I don't want to hear some of you men talking about, this is woman's perspective on the situation. You know, y'all don't really know how men think. That's BS, because all of these perspectives that we're getting, you know, out of that whole entire situation that even informed us, we're coming from men.
Yep.
Men were the one telling us about what y'all be doing. So.
Exactly, right? So, and I'm sure you can go ahead and find that on TikTok, fucking put a hashtag on it. You'll find plenty of perspective of why he's in the wrong. It's blatant manipulation. It really is what it is. Listen, as a woman, because I'm going to talk about my perspective too. Yeah. I am not going to tell a man what to do. Now, a lot of you will be like, I don't. I really don't. Because listen, I'm in my feminine energy right now. You know, this is the era of soft energy. I used to. But I noticed the moment I used to tell them what to do, I entered my masculine energy. I'm not telling you how to do shit, okay?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm only looking at your behavior and I'm telling you how I feel. That's really how women think. I'm telling you how I feel. If your behavior doesn't change, then I know where you stand.
Yes, that reminds me of that saying. Exactly. Like, you watch them do what they want to do, so you can see what they rather do.
Exactly.
You don't want them to do what you want them to do, because it just, you know, like, is it, are they doing it to appease you at the moment, or is it kind of one of those things like they're holding a mask, a face, like, okay, you want me to do this, I'll do it, whatever.
Yeah. And then what, a few months later,
do back to what I was doing when you're not here.
Right, exactly. So it's like, if I'm not telling you what to do or what you can or can't do not tell me what I can't or can't do.
Yes.
Okay? You tell me how you feel and I will behave accordingly. You can't force someone to act any type of way. You can only control yourself, okay? It starts with I. So remember that before you try to tell your shorty, you can't go out this weekend.
Yeah. And you know what I just thought of too? Like, when you do that, tell a person what they can't do, you help them lie to you.
Okay.
Did you realize that?
Yeah.
Like, you're helping them lie to you because they're acting outside of a character that outside of who they are.
Oh,
you know what
true.
I'm saying?
See?
And you want them to act in this line and whatever it be this.
Okay.
Yeah, they can
Putting
put
up
that
a facade.
Yeah, they can do that for you. It's fine. It's just know that shit's always gonna be temporary. The real self is gonna come out. Like, all it takes is for you not to be home You know what I'm saying? For you not to be here. And then, bloop, the mask comes off. What you want to do?
Exactly.
You let us know, boo.
Okay, so if you guys learn anything new, a new perspective on Jonah Hill, or just the fact that the ladies, we are in this together, and the fact of our similar, unfortunately, experiences with misuse of boundaries and controlling, definitely let us know, because this really, I think, blew everything up.
Yeah. And it introduced a portion of the topic that we didn't really consider.
Yes.
Like the misuse of therapy language.
Exactly.
And the fact that it's a thing.
Okay, because it's a new wave now of people getting help. And so now, because of that, we have to define those boundaries of how it could be used against us. And it's sad, but listen, the more knowledge is power, right? The more you know, the more you can apply it and use it within your own life.
Hey, that's why we're here every week to tell you what we know. You know what I'm saying? Talk about what's going on out here.
Exactly.
So you guys can, take it with a grain of salt.
All right, hear that. And so, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And we will, don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.